Hi folks, I thought I'd tell you a story about this peach tree. A common story for people who live in the country, especially in our part of the country, but this is something that was a surprise to me, something I had to learn, and it might be something you'll be dealing with. This peach tree about 5 or 6 years ago was bigger than it is. You can see I've cut some dead branches off of it. It was much fuller, and that particular summer it was just loaded with peaches. I saw it in the spring. It was going to be a good year for peaches. I was excited about it. It was the first year it really produced well for me because I had neglected it for a number of years. So what I started doing at the beginning of the summer is I started spraying it so that the peaches would be good. And throughout the summer I kept watching it, and the peaches continued to grow and were just about ready. Now, during this time I was commuting for work, so I wasn't here all the time. I'd come back a couple days a week. And so the previous week I looked at the peaches and I saw, well, they were all still pretty hard yet. You can't pick peaches early and have them ripen. You have to get them when they're ripe. So I thought, well, by next weekend when I come, or it wasn't next weekend, it was during the week. Next week when I come, they'll be ready to go. So I got here just before dark, and I thought, well, I'll take a walk up and look and see what's going on. And like I said, it was just before dark, and I'm looking and I can't see peaches. I mean, the week before there must have been hundreds of them. At least it seemed like that, dozens anyhow. And I'm thinking, what in the world's happening here? So I thought, well, I wonder if maybe my son came and thought he better harvest them, and he has them. So I called him and I said, hey, did you pick the peaches off the peach tree? And he said, no, I didn't do anything like that. So I didn't know what to think. The next morning I came out and I saw one of the branches on the tree was broken. And I'm walking around looking. There are no peaches anywhere on the tree. And then I came around to the front of the tree here, and there was higher grass here then. He had kind of a fence around it to try to protect it. Didn't do much good, of course, but and I look, and here in front of the tree is a whole pile of peach pits. I mean, a couple dozen. I thought, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I talked to a friend of mine who hunts here. He's a good outdoorsman. I said, I'm stumped. What do you think got at these peaches? He said, well, if there was a whole bunch all together in one spot on the ground, you had a bear. He came, he climbed the tree, and just cleaned out. Oh, there goes a rabbit running. I don't know if you can see that on video. Oh, he went in the grass. Oh, there he goes again. We have more rabbits this year again for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's been years since we've had so many, but they're, see if I can zoom in on him a little bit for you so you can enjoy looking at him. There he is. He's a younger one. Yeah, for whatever reason we have rabbits back again, and they're all over the place. Okay. At any rate, back to my story. He said, look, if you have all those peach pits all in one spot, that wasn't raccoons, that wasn't, crows, it wasn't any other kind of smaller animal, it certainly wasn't deer. It had to be a bear, because he just climbed the tree and just ate himself full over the course of a night. Well, I thought, now what in the world? So I called the Game Commission. I said, look, what am I going to do about this? We occasionally have bears come through here, but I've never seen this before. And he said, yeah, they love the peaches. They love the fruit. I said, well, I have a big garden right next to this. I mean, I don't need them coming and eating everything. He said, well, the truth of the matter is bears like sweet, so they're probably going to leave your vegetables alone. Sometimes they'll get into the sweet corn, but everything else they'll leave alone. But he liked your peaches. So I said, well, what can you do? It wasn't obviously a critical enough thing for the Game Commission to put a trap here to get rid of him. It wasn't like he knocked over a whole bunch of honeybee hives. So he said, the only thing you can do is put a fence around it with an electric fence. And I said, well, I'm pretty far away from the power. He said, all you could do is try a solar-powered electric fence. So at any rate, that solved the mystery of where the missing peaches were. They went in some bear's stomach, and I've had some years since when there were some peaches here that they would also disappear. I don't see it. It happens at night. I'm not going to sit out here all night long with a flashlight to scare them off. And the dogs are in for the night. So what I've been told is bears have such an incredible sense of smell that when they smelled the peaches were ripe, they might have come for 5 miles to this tree to get peaches. So this is one of the things you deal with living in the country, unfortunately, is you're going to share your harvest with the critters unless you have some way to chase them away. Now, if I truly wanted to save all these peaches, I probably could have put some kind of fencing up and electrified it just as a deterrent. But if the bear was determined enough, I mean, he's got a thick hide. He's not going to let a little bit of a minor electrical charge stop him. If he's really determined that he wants that food. So at any rate, that's what happened to my peaches in this tree that year, and I haven't had a year since where they look that good. So it was one of those learning lessons of living in the country and realizing that you've got wildlife that you're always going to be battling for your food. So that's the story of the missing peaches from this peach tree. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.